An FPV drone flew deep into a forested area where Russian troops had gathered. It dropped low and landed quietly nearby. Curious about its presence, a group of soldiers approached the drone to inspect it. Moments later, it detonated without warning. The blast neutralized the group instantly, turning a moment of uncertainty into a decisive strike. A Russian soldier stood alert near a ruined house, scanning the area for movement. Seconds later, an FPV drone appeared from above and struck his position. The explosion drew the attention of two nearby soldiers who panicked, sprinted into the open road, and hid inside a patch of bushes. Another drone descended and neutralized them instantly. Not far away, two soldiers resting beside a trench were eliminated in quick succession. Another Russian soldier hiding near the brush met the same fate. Minutes later, two more moving through the area were detected and struck with precision, ending the short, chaotic encounter. A Russian food supply truck was left idle on a dirt road, no soldiers in sight. Likely spotted the drone and ran. The drone didn't. Along a narrow village road, a Russian soldier drove a small buggy hauling a supply trailer filled with logistics equipment. The vehicle moved slowly between damaged houses, unaware of what hovered above. A Ukrainian FPV drone, patrolling the area, spotted the movement and locked on immediately. Within moments, it dived sharply toward the target. The impact destroyed the buggy and disabled the driver, scattering debris and supplies across the roadside. The entire strike lasted less than 10 seconds from detection to detonation. In the Dobropilya and Kostiantynivka sector, footage from the 1st Battalion of Ukraine's 93rd Mechanized Brigade shows a series of coordinated drone and artillery strikes. A Russian tank attempting to reposition across open terrain was detected and destroyed within seconds. Nearby, scattered Russian infantry moving individually or hiding among debris were also neutralized. The sequence demonstrates the brigade's growing ability to track isolated targets and eliminate them before regrouping. Each strike reflects a precise balance between speed, surveillance, and coordination. A reconnaissance drone spotted two Russian soldiers riding a motorcycle along a dirt road on the outskirts of the front line. The pair moved quickly, unaware of what followed behind them. An FPV drone locked onto their movement and began pursuit, keeping low and steady just above the tree line. The riders never looked back. Within seconds, the drone closed the distance and dove directly toward its target. The impact was precise, neutralizing both soldiers and leaving the motorcycle scattered in fragments across the road. Deep inside, a dense forest. Ukrainian soldiers from the 8th Special Purpose Regiment engaged a group of Russian troops in close combat. Supported by a small reconnaissance drone, the unit identified enemy positions hidden beneath thick foliage before advancing. The drone relayed real-time footage, guiding each movement with precision. Gunfire echoed through the trees as Ukrainian forces closed in, overwhelming the Russian group in a brief but intense exchange. The operation ended swiftly, leaving the forest quiet once more, its silence broken only by the hum of the returning drone. Small reconnaissance drones now redefine close combat, giving ground troops real-time control even in dense terrain. A group of Russian soldiers rushed toward an underground shelter, hoping to escape an incoming threat. Moments after they disappeared below, a Ukrainian FPV drone arrived overhead. Without delay, it descended into the entrance and detonated. The attempted retreat turned into a trap sealed by precision and timing. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detected Russian troops setting up a Grad P rocket launcher beside an ammunition stockpile near Soledar. Moments later, a fiber optic FPV drone was launched toward the target. It slipped through the doorway of a warehouse and detonated at the center of the setup. The explosion engulfed the launcher and ignited the ammunition, creating a chain of secondary blasts that leveled the site within seconds. A Russian soldier emerged from a hidden shelter, unaware that his movement had been detected. The exposure was brief, but enough. A Ukrainian FPV drone closed in and struck with precision, neutralizing the target before he could relocate. One Ukrainian FPV drone hovered silently above as a Russian soldier crawled along a narrow corridor carved through tall grass. His movement created a clear path across the field. Moments later, a second drone accelerated in from the flank and struck with precision. The open terrain offered no chance to hide, no time to react. On the Donetsk front, two Russian military vehicles were moving across an open field. Moments later, a Ukrainian FPV drone approached from behind and targeted the trailing vehicle. The strike landed with precision, disabling the transport and neutralizing all personnel on board. The convoy's movement ended in silence. In the center of an open field, a lone Russian soldier stood motionless as a Ukrainian FPV drone accelerated directly toward him. There was no attempt to run, no sudden movement, just silence and stillness. Not far away, inside an abandoned factory, two more soldiers reacted the same way when another drone approached. They froze, as if hoping not to be seen. Recent footage continues to reveal this pattern. Soldiers, when spotted, increasingly choose to remain completely still, believing it may confuse or delay the strike. But in most cases, the drone stays locked in. Precision doesn't rely on motion. Stillness, once a survival instinct, now signals surrender to technology. In modern warfare, stillness is no longer a tactic. It is a response to being watched. In a fortified sector, Ukraine's Signum unit deployed a fiber optic FPV drone to target a group of Russian soldiers hiding inside a dugout, immune to electronic interference. The drone navigated through complex terrain with pinpoint control, guided by earlier reconnaissance. It entered the dugout directly and detonated inside. The enclosed space intensified the strike, neutralizing those within. The operation was silent until the final moment, offering no time to react. It was precision made possible by technology that sees through interference and strikes where defenses feel strongest. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone identified a concealed weapons and ammunition stash hidden inside a shallow trench. The location had no active guards, only covered supplies. Moments later, a strike drone was deployed to the coordinates. The munition landed precisely, triggering a successful detonation and eliminating the hidden cache entirely. Behind the front lines in the Lyman sector, Ukraine's Signum battalion deployed fiber optic FPV drones to target Russian logistics and personnel. These advanced drones, resistant to jamming, navigated deep into rear areas with precision. Supply routes were disrupted, and multiple soldiers were engaged at staging points. The strike demonstrated how high-fidelity control and stealth can extend battlefield reach far beyond direct engagement zones. On the eastern outskirts of Mirnohrad, drone operators from Ukraine's 38th Chernonary Ukraine's Separate Marine Brigade conducted a targeted strike operation against a column of Russian armored vehicles transporting landing forces. The vehicles had likely been preparing for a forward assault, but their movement was detected early through aerial reconnaissance. FPV drones were launched in rapid succession, each strike timed to maximize damage before dismount. Multiple vehicles were destroyed, and with them, the troops inside. The coordinated attack neutralized the landing force before it could engage, effectively stalling Russian momentum in the area. This engagement highlights how unmanned systems now play a decisive role in shaping frontline outcomes long before infantry contact occurs. At Chasiv Yar, in the Donetsk region, a Russian soldier emerged from a dugout, exposing his position. A Ukrainian FPV drone immediately closed in and struck, triggering panic inside the shelter. Several soldiers bolted in different directions. One injured man, unable to move, was later neutralized by a second drone. Another soldier fled far from the dugout, reaching a railway line, but was intercepted by a separate drone and disabled before escape. Others sought cover in a nearby abandoned house, but the pursuit did not stop. A fourth drone reached the structure, struck with precision, and ended the last attempt at regrouping. Each movement, each decision was tracked and answered in real time. On the front lines, Ukraine's 56th Motorized Brigade conducted artillery strikes on Russian positions with support from aerial reconnaissance. Drones hovered above the target zone, relaying live corrections to ground crews. Each adjustment brought rounds closer to impact, maximizing precision and minimizing waste. Coordination between air and ground ensured every shot counted.